Even post national championship, there's an eerie feeling in Ohio that, yeah, we won it all. The Ohio State Buckeyes won it all, but they still didn't even beat Michigan this year. So it's like the most empty feeling national championship of all time. Because, yeah, you beat everybody technically and you won the national championship. But in any other year, Ohio State wouldn't have even been in the playoffs because they were the 8 seed and they lost to their rival. So it's just kind of an empty feeling in your stomach where it's like, yeah, we did a lot, but next year. And now we just have to look forward to next year where we get an opportunity to beat Michigan again. But that just proves that Michigan is truly the biggest game of Ohio State's schedule. Even in a year where Ohio State wins the national championship, all that their fan base can think about is Michigan, Michigan, Michigan. That's the biggest thing for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Not the national championship, not the Rose Bowl, not the playoffs. It's Michigan. What we're seeing with Anthony Edwards is a forced narrative. As the NBA gets older and older, and some of our favorite players are starting to age out, like KD, Steph, LeBron, etc., the NBA is just constantly looking for the next guy. Who's the next guy? And they're forcing this Anthony Edwards narrative on us when realistically Ant isn't the one. Ant's a great basketball player. He's a young guy. Ant doesn't have the clutch gene. He's not a LeBron. He's not a Kobe. He's not a Michael Jordan. He's just Anthony Edwards. And that's fine. Anthony Edwards has missed 12. He's 0 for 12 on go ahead shots within the last minute of a game. He doesn't have the clutch gene. The NBA is forcing that on us. And now I'm begging. Ant is not the future of the NBA. Stop selling me on that. Anthony Edwards is experiencing the same problem that young Michael Jordan and young Kobe Bryant had at the beginning of their careers, where right now Ant won't pass the ball to open teammates. He thinks the ball coming off of his hand is better than anybody else's hand, no matter how bad the shot is. And I hate to break it to you, Ant, that's not how the NBA works. All of those guys on your team are NBA players. So if they're open, you need to pass them the ball. Because if you don't pass it, that creates a lack of trust. Now, next time they touch the ball, they're hunting for their own shot and they're getting selfish because they're afraid, hey, if I don't shoot it now, I might not get any more shots. When I'm standing wide open, Ant doesn't pass me the ball. That's how basketball works. Guys start getting selfish. One bad shot leads to another bad shot, leads to another bad shot, and that's what ruins teams, and that's what's happening to the Minnesota Timberwolves right now. It all starts at the top with Anthony Edwards. Kentucky basketball, we have a ceiling with Mark Pope. He's a good coach, he's not a great coach, and there's only so far that we're going to be able to go with him. So my question to Big Blue Nation is how much do we allow and when do we get rid of Mark Pope for a huge coaching hire? For a Billy Donovan, for a Dan Hurley. When do we get rid of Mark Pope for a guy like that who we know can take our program to the next level for 15 or 20 years? Because right now, let's just be honest. Mark Pope's a good guy. He's a Kentucky guy. He's not an elite basketball coach. There's a lot of stuff that he's going to be trying to learn on the fly while at Kentucky. And unfortunately, I hate to say this for you, Kentucky isn't the school to learn at. Kentucky's the school to perform at. And so what I don't want to see is Mark Pope get ran out of town. We should replace Mark Pope before he even gets too far down the beating path. And we should go after Dan Hurley, Billy Donovan, Nate Oates next year. The same guys that Kentucky wanted last year, and we made a rush hire and we rushed to get Mark Pope. Let's go after those same guys this upcoming year. And let's get the head coach that we need at Kentucky. At first, I loved seeing John Calipari lose games because it was refreshing. He had lost so much at Kentucky that it was good to finally see him lose, and especially not in a Kentucky uniform. But at this point, Arkansas is so bad that I'm actually feeling bad for John Calipari. I'm feeling bad for the players and the staff that transferred to Arkansas with John Calipari. There might be a little bit more to the Kentucky brand than we realized because he literally took every single player, every single staff member, every single recruit that he was going to have at Kentucky, and he copy and pasted that team and took them to Arkansas. I don't think this team would have been that bad at Kentucky, but at Arkansas, they're the worst in the SEC. So is it the Kentucky fan base and something about Kentucky that just takes teams to that next level? Or did John Calipari lose his juice? I don't think Calipari lost his juice in one offseason. I think that there's something about Kentucky. It's just a little bit different for everybody involved. The Golden State Warriors are ruining Steph Curry's legacy. Right now, Steph has 4 rings. He's tied with LeBron, and he's easily in position to get a fifth and a sixth if they can put together a good team. I've heard rumors that the Warriors are tanking right now. With a 36-year-old Steph Curry, they are tanking. That's unbelievable to me. The Warriors need to be in win now mode in every sense. They need to go make a trade. They need to go get a Jimmy Butler, a Zion Williamson, a Nikolas Vucevic. They need to go get somebody huge and make a big splash so that Steph Curry can be remembered as the Warriors legend that we all see him as now. The Warriors front office is failing Steph Curry ever since Bob Myers left. Bob Myers was the key to the Warriors dynasty because he saw the game in a way that nobody else saw it. Bob Myers doesn't deserve, Bob Myers shouldn't be on ESPN. Bob Myers needs to be working for an NBA basketball team. His eye and his ability to develop young talent is unreal. And now you're seeing that the Golden State Warriors are having a problem drafting effectively and then developing those guys. That's what the Warriors' problem is now. When Bob Myers was there, that was never a problem. Draymond, Warriors guy. Clay, Warriors guy. Steph, Warriors guy. Looney, Warriors guy. Everybody on their team was drafted and developed by the Warriors, and that's what made them so great. And now Dunleavy is in charge, and he doesn't know his hand from his foot, from his ass. He's picking players who are never suiting up in Warriors games. They're never getting better. They're never developing. So what's going on? Why did Bob Myers leave, and how can the Warriors get him back?